All right. So say something funny.
Something funny.
Damn it.
Sorry that I'm not sorry about that.
He's Andy.
Hi.
You're supposed to say he's Evan.
Oh.
I was doing a bit.
Oh. Well,
you're not doing the bit?
I am now. Hey
Welcome
guys,
to
he's
Badwatch.
Evan. He's Evan.
This is our podcast. And it's off to a great start. Now, what do we do on this podcast?
We watch stuff.
Specifically, what kind of stuff?
Is it bad?
I think it's bad.
Well, it's in the eye of the beholder.
This is true, but based on what we watched tonight, what we watch is very bad.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
So, we watch a bad show and then we make fun of it, and so then you don't have to. That could be our tag.
No, I think they should have to though. It'll.
So this is a podcast that gives you homework, the very first of its kind. Also, I want to mention in case, because I'm worried sometimes people don't get my jokes, that Badwatch is a play on Baywatch. Are we good?
I feel like we're gonna need a photo of us in swimming gear. We're gonna have to actually do that though.
I think my swimming trunks are all season, so I'm down. And when we do this, can I put stripes of sunscreen below my eyes?
Yes.
And cover my nose in it?
Yes. Also, we will have to do it on my back porch.
Yes.
In the snow.
Yes.
That would be Badwatch.
And I'll be holding binoculars up to my eyes, but they're backwards. Oh man, such good jokes. So we watched Hawaii 5-0, and I thought it would be funny to start with season 2, episode 1, so we would have no idea what was going on.
No clue. None at all.
And it was surprisingly easy to follow, despite that.
Let's begin with a drip-fed plotline.
So, the episode was titled
Unbreakable.
Haʻiʻole, which I guess is Hawaiian for Unbreakable. It's alive, damn it.
Oh, okay. I was like, did we watch different? I'm pretty sure it's called Unbreakable.
No, they wanted us to say the Hawaiian name to make me feel bad for not knowing another language adequately.
Did they succeed?
Yes. Now, it's called Hawaii 5-0, Hawaii 5-O. And there are only 4 main characters. And none of their names, as far as I can tell, start with O.
It's truly disappointing and confusing. I
was hoping they were sort of like a Honolulu Beatles tribute band, but there happened to be 5 of them. And all their names started with O. Like Oscar.
Oscar and
Omar.
Oh, okay.
Omar's another O.
And they just steal taglines from other show. If you come at the king, you best not miss. Is that where they start
in the game of O's, you either O or you P. Okay. Season 2, episode 1, we did sort of cheat and we watched the season 1 recap.
Yeah.
Which actually was good preparation because it was lots of fast cuts. And that's basically all this show is.
Almost dizzy.
Is lots of fast cuts and very dun, 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 dun.
They love their music.
It's sort of like how when you watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and your heart rate would jack up, except when you watch Hawaii 5-0, you check to see if you still have a pulse.
Yeah.
It's like that.
They do the but it's constant.
Do you want a lifeline? I'd like to get out of here, please. So we learn from this recap that someone, specifically the female governor, who was also the sex pot from Sex and the City. Well, wait, all of them were. Who was the sexy sex pot?
Hold on, I think I think this is more fun that you have the
it's
wrong person.
It's not Kim Cattrall, is it? It's a different
It's
woman.
no one from Sex and the City.
Well, she kind of looks like Kim Cattrall.
But it's not. It's not her.
You're right. It's not her. But she was the governor of Hawaii in season 1 and was also murdered.
Well, I just also want to preface. So Badwatch also means that we don't know what we're actually watching and we don't know the names of people.
Nope. Also, you'll find that we don't address any of the characters by their actor names or their character names because I give them all fun nicknames. And that's not because I have a bad memory, so shut up. So there's this montage after we learn that the governor died, and it's like, I guess a funeral, but the music is not appropriate for a funeral.
Entirely.
And there's a shot of America's Cylon sweetheart, one of the Hawaii Five-O's. She's out on the surfboard, like staring.
Looking sultry.
Yeah, I mean, she's very attractive, and she's sort of looking at the horizon, but she looks angry about
Pensive.
it. Like, she's thinking about surfing, and she's mad.
Which I don't see that.
But we later learned she was a cop and she was suspended. But we never figure out why. Maybe that was covered in season 1.
Yeah, I mean, it must have. Right?
And then, so I was very excited because in this montage of people at the funeral, but also not at the funeral, including a woman at a coffee shop on her laptop who I think was looking at a screwdriver and is played by everyone's favorite Nickelodeon actor, Alex Mack.
I still don't get that reference.
Andy had a rough childhood and never saw Nickelodeon, but I just was
Very
watching
sheltered.
this and I kept waiting for the moment when Alex Mack would turn into a puddle of silver goo and slide under the door because that shit was bomb on Alex Mack. Also, there's a short guy. He's one of the Hawaii Five-O's.
But he's not. Evan wants to call him short guy, and I disagree. I think he should just be Angry Ocean's 11.
I mean, I think it's Ocean's 12, actually. I don't think he's in Ocean's 11.
No, he's the initial twin brother that they hate each other, and it's amazing.
Well, true. He's in the Ocean's movies by the Mr. Soderbergh. But also, he's so short that he, like, sculpts his hair into a pompadour to appear taller, fooling no one. So I feel sort of bad for him that he's this little Napoleonic actor who is literally shorter than everyone else on the show.
But wasn't Napoleon of average height?
You know what? I don't know history. Josephine or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Also, John Locke shows up. John Locke from Lost. He shakes hands with short guy. And then they go see another 5-0 who's in prison, played by generic white guy. He has brown hair, eyes.
Tattoos.
Ugly tattoos. And he is white. And that is literally the extent of his acting ability. Is that also, I guess, I mean...
He's good at being pensive.
Dude takes care of himself. He has some
true.
good muscles, which he never is, short on opportunities to take off clothing and show that he has muscles because, again, acting.
I feel like the actors that were working with him would kind of feel like the Galaxy Quest scene where he's just like, never missed an opportunity to lose your shit.
Oh my god, I miss Alan Rickman so much.
Yes.
Oh my god. Also, during this weird funeral montage that's hard to tell they're at a funeral, Jin from Lost, a lot of Lost people, I think they just stayed in Hawaii and they're like, oh, another TV show's filming here? Yes, I'll do it. Doesn't matter what. So Jin from Lost is at the funeral in like his full dress blues, and he's staring at Botox Man, who from the preview of the previous season, or I guess it's not a preview, the post view? Recap, that's the word. Recap of season 1, we know, is the dude who killed the governor, and
yeah, he murder hoboed the governor.
he has no defining characteristics other than his absurd use of Botox.
He's got those sharp cheekbones.
They are, you could cut diamonds on these cheekbones, ladies and gentlemen. They are very sharp. So, Woe Fat is actually his name. I'm not sure he gets a nickname because Woe Fat is already so good.
It's pretty damn solid.
So Woe Fat sees Jin from Lost staring at him, and they have a stare down sort of across the funeral.
I actually have a note that I wrote down when saw this happen, because I didn't know any of these characters yet. I just see them, they look at each other, and I wrote down angry Asian stares, all caps. Just...
That is true. That could be what this show is called, is Asian people staring at each other, or this horizon, angrily.
Because, well, immediately following this.
Yeah, immediately following. So Jin from Lost follows Botox Wofat out into, I guess, the parking lot. It looked like a very leafy parking lot, but anyway. And he's got like 3 or 4 bodyguards, this Botox Wofat. Mm-hmm. And Jin from Lost walks up and he's like, "Oh, we know it was you. It's just a matter of time before you trade places."
You're right now missing Evan kind of like shimmying his body.
You gotta get
it's phenomenal.
The angry shimmy in there to really capture what he was saying. And then Wofat like turns around, he's like, "Excuse me," and then Jin from Lost just straight up assaults 2 of the bodyguards.
People.
And they don't fight back.
No one fights
which
back,
is weird
and it's in full public view of everyone else at the funeral.
They were definitely assaulted unprovoked. And everyone's watching. Everyone can see he's a cop because he's dressed as a cop. And nothing happens.
You know, maybe they marked it up to him grieving. That's how he accepted grief into his heart.
He was that close to the governor.
With throat punches.
He was so close to the governor, he had to throat punch 2 dudes. And he also thought she was from Sex and the City.
You know, that's the issue. He was like, this is a beloved character that you have murdered.
Maybe the 5th Hawaii Five-0 is really New York City. Oh my god. Okay.
So the other part is that then he walks away from this confrontation with a wallet. So not only did he assault someone, he stole their wallet at a funeral in full police uniform. It's just insane.
He's so smug after the bodyguards and Wofat get in their car, and Jin from Lost turns around to the camera. He's just gripping this wallet. He's the biggest smile on his face. He's so stoked, and I have to say, it's a nice looking wallet. I'd probably be stoked too.
I just want to follow that bodyguard's life. Just shift. They need to shift perspectives and just see this guy's like, I just got throat punched, and then he stole my wallet. This is a terrible day.
That's the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern for this episode, where you just follow the bodyguard as he can't do any of his bodyguard duties, which is his calling in life, because he lost his ID and all his other shit.
And he's having trouble breathing.
And he's worried about losing his identity because, frankly, that's a real issue. And yeah, he was punched in the throat. So dude is having the worst day.
I showed up to fake grieve, and now everything hurts, and it's awful.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Short Guy and John Locke go to a prison, and we see generic white guy in the cell.
He is tearing it up.
And he and Short Guy have banter over the prison phone. It's not really a phone. It's more like, I can see you through the glass and you hear me through the phone. That phone. Yeah. And then Short Guy's like, well, I know you don't like visitors, and here's John Locke.
Where did this accent come from?
Well, I can't do his angry voice.
Can't do generic angry white man voice.
Generic angry. I know you hate visitors, so here's John Locke. And John Locke sits down, and at first I thought this was generic white guy's daddy, because he does call generic white guy's son. Yeah. At multiple times in this episode. It turns out they are not related at all, and John Locke trained generic white guy when he was in the military?
Yeah, like Marine SEAL Special Ops sort of thing.
He's like a badass. He knows
super
all
badass. You see those tattoos, right? He's
death punches. He's got the tattoos that are very ugly and clearly done on a ship, painted gunmetal gray by someone who they call Deck Swab. Maybe. Is that a rank? No.
No, it isn't. Definitely.
Well,
just a lowly deck swab. That'd be a rating. Would be that.
And then John Locke and Short Guy leave, and generic white guy goes out for his break, and it's unusual in that no one else is in this prison.
They show the guards leaving.
The guard has this very large gun. He sees generic white guy come out. He's like, cool, I can clock off now. And
time to chill.
Yeah, time to go Netflix and chill, baby. And he leaves. We never see him again. And then someone else who looks like shitty Josh Brolin. He's much shorter and not as handsome and does not have as good of hair. But he looks like Josh Brolin.
I think it's just everyone's angry, so you should just call him Angry Josh Brolin.
Angry Josh Brolin. I feel like Josh Brolin might be kind of angry all the time too. Though.
Well, if he's being impersonated by this man, yes.
Yeah, he's really pissed about Hawaii Five-0. They're still tied up in courts about this. So this shitty Josh Brolin comes out, and there's a brief flashback. He's like, where's my brother? Is he dead? Then so's your dad. And I was like, oh, so John Locke isn't his dad, because the recap very clearly shows shitty Josh Brolin shooting another dude.
Yeah.
Who also doesn't look like generic white.
But generic white guy is then very sad.
He's overcome with emotion, and shitty Josh Brolin gets the jump on him, and they have a shitty prison yard fight.
Shitty.
And then shitty, like, they literally are flipping each other. It looks like WrestleMania, but worse.
And they're kicking each other with like these canvas shoes. I was like, that's just gonna hurt. Don't kick people with
their boots are definitely not prison approved.
They're not boots. They're wearing boat shoes and like doing high.
I hope
combat.
You're ready to fight, because I have my Sperry boat shoes on, bitch. they toss and tussle, and it's not homoerotic at all, which would have actually been cool. But then it does
like, where's the payoff?
It does get sort of homoerotic when shitty Josh Brolin has generic white guy on the concrete, and he's like breathing very much in his face.
He whispers sweet nothings into his ears. He stabs
sweet nothings that I do not remember. And then he stabs him once with a surprisingly well-decorated shiv. Like, did you see the handle on that thing?
It was ornate.
It was like multiple stacks of rubber bands, all different colors, but there was an artistry to it.
Yeah, someone took their time.
So many shanks these days just lack that artistry.
Again, another perspective shift. I want to see who made the maker of the shiv. Like, who?
Because it definitely wasn't shitty Josh Brolin.
It was not. I want to see its life, how it came to be. Kind of a Lord of War visual for the bullet. I want to see that for the shank.
I'm imagining shitty Josh Brolin pays like whoever made the shiv in this prison that apparently they're the only two inmates, I guess. But he pays for it, and he's like, it's a little gay, but yeah, I'll use it.
But no, he's got an Irish accent. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. So shitty Josh Brolin, we were really trying hard to pin down his accent, and the closest I got was Irish Canadian, because he has a really good about, and then and then the rest of the time it sounds like there's marbles in his mouth or something. It's very confusing.
I'm really hoping I'll see an interview with him and he will actually be Irish, and then it'll just have been messing it up for the TV
His
show.
just American and or Canadian accent is that bad.
Yeah.
That actually is much better. I hope that's true. And then so generic white guy's in an ambulance, and he's like bleeding a lot and really sweaty for a dude who only got stabbed one time.
Well, first there's a bit of exposition where the angry Josh Brolin is interviewed by generic white guy's friends, and he says, "Oh, I helped him escape."
Yeah,
because this is all a masterminded
Two
plan.
of the 5-0s interview shitty Josh Brolin, and they're like, "So this was your big play, huh? You frame generic white guy, get him in here, and then you kill him." He's like, I didn't kill him.
It's so bad.
I didn't kill him. I only stabbed him once in the belly, missing all white organs.
English, Australian, I don't even know what that is.
It's English with a little spin on it.
It's like Cockney, it's horrifying. I don't...
He said, there's a Wofat put me up to it, what? And then they're like, what? Wofat? The villain of this episode and probably more to come? And they're like,
I'm detecting a character arc.
And then they're like, well, why did you let generic white guy go? And he's like, they're like, Wofat's gonna kill you now that you didn't kill him. He's like, not if generic white guy gets him first. And then he doesn't come back.
Handle your accent right now.
He just imagine I'm Irish, but with like a lot of spaghetti in my mouth, and I'm like, it's just like the pasta noodles are dangling from my lips.
This podcast is not supposed to make me ill.
This podcast is brought to you by Barilla. So then, Jin from Lost and Short Guy, they're like, oh shit, we gotta go find our generic white guy. And then like, oh shit, generic white guy escaped.
He's remarkably agile for a man who has been stabbed once in the gut.
He is running very fast.
Mm-hmm. doesn't really care.
Beats up the poor paramedic who's trying, I think, to take his pulse. Yeah. He literally punches him in the head like 6 times, kicks the other guy, jumps out onto the asphalt without getting hurt in any way.
A moving vehicle. It was not stopped.
A moving
he just
vehicle,
tuck and roll right
and
out
then
the back.
Another car driving, I don't know, like 10 miles per hour graciously stops to not run him over.
That driver was paying attention.
Yes. Very safe
Not
driving on Hawaii
Very
5-0.
safe. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then he like runs into like a weird warehouse area where there's surprisingly a bathroom.
It's like a gas station, I think. But
you never see the gas station, you just see the gas station bathroom, which is the part everyone really wants to see.
Yeah, we could just skip that. Just head right in.
So he's in this bathroom. He's like, it looks like he's popping the worst zit of his life.
They show him pull up his shirt to look at the wound, but then they were like, I don't know if their special effects were too cheap to actually like put something that looked like a wound.
It's just more orange of his prison pants.
Yeah, they don't actually show anything. It was like, he was like, guys, look at my abs. And they're like, no, we'll use that shot. It's fine.
They're like, we're low on the corn syrup and food dye budget. Let's gotta make it stretch,
they
guys.
Be bothered. I was like, what is this?
So, yeah.
He strips off his bandage. He's stuffing it with like paper towels.
Yeah, he like pops out the bullet, I think.
I don't think he didn't have a bullet, right?
He sounds very constipated at one point, so I think that's why he's like pressing on it, and I think he like gets the bullet out.
He didn't. He had a knife wound. He had a shiv wound.
He
wasn't shot.
He wasn't shot. I was paying attention. I promise. But then guess what? He's getting ready to leave, but there's a cop car outside. The cop car's not looking for him. Dude just has to go to the bathroom. Also, he doesn't have a partner. This man flies solo, and he goes into the bathroom
while a convicted felon is escaped, and there's people just like, you gotta be aware, guys. Oh, I'll go alone.
Listen, the HPD, as they're called in this show, are always on it. They're just, they don't need partners because they're that good.
They also have one-size-fits-all uniforms.
Exactly. It's like the sisterhood of the traveling uniforms, because this very slight, I won't say petite.
I'll say petite.
He's a petite Asian man.
Yeah.
Goes into the bathroom.
Dainty.
Again, not looking for an escaped convict. He just has to take a leak. And he's peeing. He washes his hands.
And generic white guy's hiding in the stall.
Generic white guy is like pretending to poop, I guess. I don't know.
Well, he hid in the stall and he's just sitting, hoping he leaves.
He's making breathing noises like he's pooping. It was honestly his best acting in the episode.
Standard pensive breath, anyways.
But the cop is trying to leave, and he all of a sudden sees the garbage can for the first time because he blinked and missed it on his way in, and there's all these bloody bandages in there. By the way, this is a very well-trafficked gas station bathroom.
And the music during this whole time, it's super, they're just like ramping up the tension, and it's like very obvious he's going to notice this stuff.
Generic white guy is like, oh shit, he didn't leave, what the fuck? And then the cop comes back in and is like looking around. He peers down under the stall, and he's like, oh shit, pooping dude's actually a felon.
Well, he sees the orange pants, and then so our hero is sitting on the toilet, and somehow blood drips like
from his balls.
Just like
that are clothed.
They just dangled and let a drop go.
His generic white guy balls.
So he sees this blood and he puts a hand up on top of the stall, and it's super intense.
But generic white guy's a badass, and he's ready for him. And he kicks the small petite Asian man into a urinal and takes his gun. And then
he takes his dignity.
And his clothes, his car. Don't tell me imperialism isn't real. Because it's alive and well in Hawaii 5-0.
So this petite man's clothes fit on this well-muscled, large white man. It's
Yeah.
I
fully traveling uniforms.
I think I would have expected at least like 4 inches on the pants to be just.
I would have loved it if it looked like he was in a police uniform, but also like clam diggers. Just like the pants are way too short on him.
Those are police capris. Okay. Yeah. Well, it is really warm in Hawaii. Okay. Yeah. No, it's fine.
Yeah, and then so by this point, I guess he's so exerted from a fight with a much smaller man. The generic white guy is limping finally at long last, and he gets into the car.
Yeah. Now his one's really bothering.
He drives away because now he has the perfect cover. He's a convict who's actually a cop, dressed as a cop. He's an actual cop who should be in jail.
He's a dude playing another dude.
It's art imitating life, you guys, okay? Just go with it. And then he breaks into a doctor's house, and the doctor comes home, and I was like, look, it's the time travel guy from Heroes. And Andy goes, wasn't his name actually Hero? And I was like, oh yeah, that's another very not good show. But
I would, you know what? I hated that show. I stopped like midway through the first season. I would happily watch that with you.
It's not good. I think I made it all the way to the second season, and then I was like, this is terrible. You know what we should watch is like the 6-episode limited series they made like years after the original Heroes was canceled.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It is a thing, and if we can find it, we'll watch it.
Yeah.
So, the doctor comes home. He's got an adorable little USS Enterprise on his keychain, and he sees, there's broken glass.
And now our hero, who bandaged himself, is suddenly bleeding everywhere.
There's like the biggest puddle of blood all over the doctor's apartment, and he's
it's
surprisingly
like he spread it on purpose.
It's like he dribbled, and he's like, I better wipe this straw with my shoe before he gets home. Oh shit!
I have to be a considerate house guest.
Yeah, and then you see him passed out in the kitchen in what has to be the most uncomfortable position to pass out in.
He got a sore neck for sure.
He was laying down flat on his back, but his neck is at a 90-degree angle to his body and propped up against the wall. Yeah. But Doctor patches him up, and I guess they're friends? They know each other?
Yeah, definitely. But now Doctor has, quote unquote, patched him up, and now he's totally fine. He's ready to go.
It's as if
sprinting.
He was never Shiv.
Rest of the episode, he's
the
totally
Shiv
fine.
that never was. And so then the Doctor calls Jin from Lost and Angry Short Guy. And they come and they're like, what are you doing? He's like, what are you doing? And then in another case of traveling pants, the nice doctor from Heroes is like, my roommate is visiting family on the mainland, and he is just about your size. And I'm like, that is so convenient. And so again, we get to see generic white boy's muscles, bad tattoos. And he never really finishes putting on that shirt. We always get to see his like well-manicured, sculpted topiary of chest hair. Is topiary the right word?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Topiary of chest hair. I want to like write messages in it. Like shithead.
It's weird. I did not focus that much on his chest hair.
He was naked like most of the episode. He's half or quarter naked.
I feel like I need to now rewatch this. I was focused on other things.
So he conveniently fits into another, I'm assuming, Asian man's clothes, but perhaps it's racist to assume that one Asian man lives as another Asian man just because the one Asian man is a doctor. But anyway.
Anyway.
So then generic white guy's sitting in the back of short guy's car, and short guy's on the phone with a child, apparently. He's talking in baby talk.
Oh, that's his SO or ex-SO, right?
Well, he says, you're a monkey in a polka dot dress. Yes, you are. So unless their shit
they had
is
a kid,
very weird.
And then she had another. She's now pregnant. Well, okay. So what we find out is that angry Ocean's 11 has a relationship. This is where we find out why he's so angry. We find the deep well of sadness in his character that's driving his motivation.
He apparently has a child with this woman who's, I think mentioned at one point she's 12. But this woman lives in New Jersey. And is pregnant.
I thought you were saying that his significant other was 12. I was
God, that would be a wildly different show. Yeah. Holy smokes.
That's perspective shift again.
But his ex is an SO with the monkey in a polka dot dress, but they're coming back to Hawaii because the ex-SO apparently got pregnant in Hawaii by another man while she was dating Angry Ocean's 11. There's lots of baby daddy drama. Really,
my heart cried out for Angry Ocean's 11.
Really, it's tragic. And then he and generic white guy have more shitty white guy banter.
Yeah, it's not good.
There's some excellent product placement for Camaro. And
look at this sexy car. Very policey.
And then we finally jump back to America's Cylon sweetheart, who is taking photos of a dude with a very bad haircut. Wearing glasses.
Evan thinks that was a wig, and I think it was just beautiful slicked back hair.
If it's his real hair, it is at least 50% hair product.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
It's like It looks waxed to his skull.
I think it's fantastic. It's basically a skull cap. He's wearing a protective countermeasure because he knows the kind of scum that the Hawaii Five-0 are.
He's like, I can't do a skull cap. He's like, I'm gonna grow hair and then glue it to my head. And then so short guy and John Locke and generic white guy, they go to a very wealthy Asian man's house because the Asian man was friends with white guy's dad.
This felt like such a weird.
It was so weird.
Sort of,
so
like,
literally,
they had time to go chill out with this old dude as like regale. Tell us, old man, regale us with tales of your life.
They don't
like,
need to catch Woe Fat anymore because they found this other Asian guy who's way more interesting.
Yeah. He wants to talk to us. It's actually a way kind of like it's just a much more relaxed show suddenly. Everyone's going to hang out and talk to the old dude.
This was so hilarious to me because it's such a commentary on how bad of an actor generic white guy is, because he literally walks into the old Asian man's house, says 2 words, and then their entire conversation is summarized outside by John Locke talking to short guy. And
they're just like, don't bother.
Like, why did we even have this scene?
I don't.
We had to like pay to rent this house. This is like a very expensive Airbnb here on the island.
It felt like a weird, like it had to have been an appendage to or an ending to some other arc or something from the first season, because it felt so awkward.
It makes no sense and has almost no bearing on this story. Well, sort of. The Asian guy tells generic white guy, your dad has evidence about the governor, and it's on Molokai, which sounds like a wizard.
But it's
Moloch.
the island, I guess.
It's I guess it's an island. I've never been to Hawaii.
Only been to the big one, so that was just...
So yeah, and then the Cylon, America's Cylon sweetheart, is taking more photos, and she has a laptop with her, and we were trying to figure out if her vehicle had Wi-Fi.
Well, they have that meeting and plan out where everyone's going, right?
Yeah, they have a meeting and fight about who does what, and it's like...
And you meet the short-haired girl again who, like...
Yeah, Alex Mack comes back, and I was never clear on her relationship to anyone else in the show.
Yeah, they didn't... did she do actually anything in the show? Really? She starts talking.
Apparently, what I thought was a screwdriver earlier was actually a key to a locker.
Oh, yeah, she came up with the key to the locker. Right?
Yeah,
yes.
And somehow she found it by looking at it on her computer screen. She like 3D printed it or some shit. So she shows up again at a Hawaiian shave ice shop hosted by the man with the biggest, fattest, most perfectly spherical head I have ever seen.
Hey, did you check out his ears? They were phenomenal.
I was so taken by the shiny pate and perfect roundness of it. Also, this man knows he has a beautiful head because his Hawaiian shave ice place, I don't think has a name. You just like, oh yeah, the big head. And that's because like all the decor at this shave ice place is a graffiti image of this dude's head.
Yeah,
just pasted everywhere.
Everywhere.
And so Alex Mack walks up and she's like, can I use your bathroom? Wink. And he's like, yeah, but you need to buy some shave ice. And she's like, seriously, I can't afford it. Or I don't know what she says. And he's like, she's like, I don't have cherry. And he's like, but with ice cream or beans. And she's like, surprise me, I don't care. And he's like, with beans. And it's this whole scene that does not need to be in the show. And
well,
then,
I think they're trying to endear show that the characters are fun and they actually have something besides them.
I mean, of course they're fun. They live in Hawaii.
I don't know that Hawaii means you're fun.
Well, if they can afford to live there, they're probably fun.
You met Angry Ocean's 11. He's not fun.
No, he is not fun. That's true. But he has height issues.
And sadness.
And baby daddy issues. And apparently his daughter is a 12-year-old monkey in a polka dot dress. So
that's a weird life choice on their part.
But so she literally, I thought they were literally in the bathroom. Because I could see a paper towel dispenser behind them, but it turns out it's just the back room.
It's like the kitchen prep area.
But
there's like 6 people that have now gone inside because suddenly they don't tell us that they've all gone there, but they just cut to him and it's like, oh, he's here too. Oh, he's here too. Oh,
he's
here
guy, short guy, Jin from Lost, John Locke, Alex Mack, world's largest head. They're all in the back room.
Everyone is meeting. It's a high traffic kitchen.
They have a little powwow. And then cut back to America's Cylon sweetheart, who's in her car, which does not have Wi-Fi because I don't think that was a thing when this season was airing. But she has her laptop out, and she's running facial recognition on the dude with the worst haircut I've ever seen. Turns out his name is Kurt Hauf, with like 3 Fs at the end of it. and an
Super
AU.
German.
Yeah, he's like supposed to be very German, but he just looks like a surfer who they pulled off the beach to be on this show.
I mean, it's probably convenient. They didn't give him any lines.
They
right?
went to
So it's
Central
fine.
Casting and they're like, you German? No, don't care.
Just don't talk. Shh, don't talk.
Yeah, you don't have any speaking parts. It's fine.
Carry things and then die.
So did you ever watch Battlestar Galactica?
Yes.
So did it ever occur to you that the Cylon women could never have sex doggy style? By the way, Mom, skip ahead like a minute or
No,
so.
I'm
listening
so
to this.
interested. Mom,
Because-
stay on. Stay
because,
on.
Listen, Mom, I'm a grown up and I have needs.
So
okay, she's got to be gone now. But
You have Cylon needs,
yeah, I have needs and they're only met by Cylons.
but not dog style, apparently. I'm so interested for this.
What is fascinating to me about the Cylons is when they have sex, their spines glow bright red.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't remember this at all.
This is a thing that,
I feel like I blocked this out.
fact checked me, you galactaheads or whatever you are. Dwight Schrute, go look this up for us, please. And when they have sex, their spines glow bright red because their spines are like titanium alloy.
My mouth is agape right now. I'm staring at Evan.
And
I just can't. I don't remember this happening.
watching an episode of that show. So I was like, so they can never do doggy? And she's like, what? And I was like, well, like if they were doing doggy, wouldn't he see her spine glowing and then she'd have to kill him? And she's like, I never thought of that. And I was like, well, I'm glad I'm here for this to show you how the biggest plot hole of Battlestar Galactica is that the Cylons can't do doggy with humans.
No, the biggest plot hole is that everyone is in fact a Cylon. That's the biggest plot hole.
There is that. So I kept thinking about how poor America Cylon sweetheart could never do doggy. And I was like, oh wait, she's not a Cylon in the show.
So now she's free and
she,
and
I
able
think
to do what
she
she
was
wants.
thinking about
Follow your bliss.
never having doggy style either because she's very quickly captured. As soon as she sees the facial recognition hit come through for Kurt,
She's like, yes.
she's like, I got him. Then an Asian dude comes up and like slams her against the car with his gun, and
She's like, damn, I should have, been looking at anything.
yeah, I should have been paying attention. Where's my backup?
Did you not notice, like they had X amount of bodyguards, and now they had X minus one amount of bodyguards, and she
It's
just didn't
very
check that.
unclear what she was thinking. I'm thinking she was thinking about silent sex. Anyway,
I don't blame her.
I'm thinking about it a lot too, so I get it. But anyway, she goes onto this boat where Botox, I almost call him Bofat. Botox Wofat, apparently is his boat, and his 4 bodyguards are there, and one of them's like, I still don't have my fucking wallet, damn it.
It's like you don't see it, but he just leans to the side. It's like he's in his own TV show, and he's just like,
For a non-speaking role, he communicates so much. You feel for him. You feel for
We
this
should
guy.
replace him. You choose him as generic white guy instead of. He's got a lot more facial stuff going
He
on.
really does. He has expressions. And then Wofat makes some threat to the Cylon, and then he's like, the Japanese have a saying, not speaking is the flower. And I was like, that can't be. I was like, Japanese is a beautiful language, and it's a beautiful culture with a rich history, and I feel like we're losing something in translation. And he doesn't bother to rectify this fact, because then I guess he threatens
After that
to...
wisdom bomb, he just makes moves.
After that wisdom bomb, he leaves, and I was led to believe they threw the Cylon in the water.
I thought they were gonna kill
Which,
her.
as you know, that's very bad for Cylons, because they are made of metal and their spines glow in the dark.
That warranty is a bitch.
But then it turns out they just put her in a car and took her someplace else.
In a trunk. And then this,
Yeah.
100-pound woman is just totally manhandles this 180-pound
180-pound
buff
man with a
bodyguard
gun.
guy. Yeah.
And he's like, you will not shoot, you are a police officer. And she shoots the ground 3 feet away from him, and he jumps about a foot in the air.
And then he's like, oh, you got me now.
And it would have been a little funnier if he just peed his pants and not moved. Like he was trying to be stoic, and then his bladder failed him. I would have maybe again they were low on the corn syrup and food dye budget. I bet the fake bladder pee.
They spend all their Cylon money. They got nothing left.
So then they go to the airport. Oh, well, all the rest of the 5-0s.
4-0s.
The 4-0s. They go to the governor's mansion. They just casually walk in because, I don't know. they don't live there.
Well, McGarrett, McGarrett is the name of
White guy McGarrett.
White guy McGarrett, just a general white guy. Well, I think the reason they could walk in is because he had disabled every other member of the bodyguard crew, and they kicked them all out. They fired them all.
Yeah.
Which, I get another perspective shift. Just watch him just go through everyone and then just follow them home. And,
so then...
disability and...
What he's costing the government in insurance fees alone has got to be astronomical.
So apparently, though, they had full immunity, the 5-0s, and it's just...
Mm-hmm.
It's like how do we know who the good guys are?
It is discussed later that the 5-0 task force had full immunity and basically carte blanche to do whatever they want. And I was like, they were so good at crime, they became crime because now they're all in trouble for being 5-0 apparently. But they go into the governor's mansion, and what they found in White Guy McGarrett's dad's locker at the airport was a photo from a camera.
Or it was a little video. A snippet of a video.
Snippet.
Of his father placing a camera in the governor's mansion, right in her office to see what was going on and record stuff.
Yes. And so they are looking around, and it's very clearly a clock. There's very clearly... a clock that is has a bright gold face. It's a very nice looking clock. They clearly spent money on it, only to break it momentarily. But it's very clearly the camera's inside the clock.
That's the only possible way.
Meanwhile, Jin from Lost is looking in a completely wrong corner of the room where
he was like,
there's like a
somewhere
plant
along this 40-foot wall. I can't tell angles
or
very
something.
well.
He's looking in, and short guy walks in. He sort of looks around. He's like, got it. So they bust the clock. They pull out.
No, then there's a camera inside this clock, and they don't, look at it, try and fiddle with it. Instead, they go like full on. They just pick it up and just slam it on the ground and kicks it. Yeah. And it's like that's how you lose your evidence, right? If you found it.
Yeah, because
you broke the camera, it's over.
Jin from Lost says, that hole could be the lens. And Short Guy takes this as an invitation to utterly destroy the clock. But somehow the camera and all of the footage it contains survives. And it's unclear to me when old White Guy McGarrett died. The father died. Because, how much storage is on this video camera?
Well, easy fix. It's only active when it detects motion and or sound.
But it's the governor's mansion. This is in her office.
No one's there. No one's there.
That's true. Literally, no one is there.
Only criminal ass acts are done in that.
The only guy who showed up to central casting was the dude with the really bad hair. So that's why they made him the German guy. But then the lieutenant governor walks in. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing? This is the governor's mansion."
And this is the black bailiff actor from Judging Amy.
Yes,
and
it is.
Who I love. And then I was like, oh, hello, Mr. Bailiff.
And I was very confused who he was. It was not clear to me until the end of the episode that he was the new governor.
You see his face in the beginning montage at the funeral, but there's no information. So
I assumed he was the former governor's personal assistant.
Something, yeah. It did, but it was very much not clear that he walks in like he owns the place. It's like, oh, he does own the place. Okay.
He is very well dressed in a sharp suit and an excellent tie. And then he's like, Jen from Lost is like, I'm so-and-so, and this is so-and-so. And he's like, wait a second, those names sound familiar. Aren't you 5-0? And then they're like, and he's like, 5-0 was disbanded. 5-0 was disbanded.
This lieutenant governor has an integral knowledge of 5-0 and the police operations. There's nothing else for this man to concern himself
with. So they're in trouble with the lieutenant governor.
But they say there's evidence, and then obviously they're going to discuss it.
They find the evidence. Meanwhile, the cops descend on Big Head Shaved Ice, where
they capture 17 people.
Where White Guy McGarrett and John Locke and Big Head are still hiding out, I guess. Yeah. And White Guy McGarrett surrenders, but the lieutenant governor drives up and he's like, "No, uncuff him. You got the wrong man." And they show the video of the actual person who killed the governor, where White Guy McGarrett does the worst stage fall I've ever seen. They
couldn't get a stunt guy or something because
the stunt guy was not available.
Yeah, he was not willing to sacrifice his body at all.
The stunt guy's pinky finger has more acting ability than generic White Guy.
He flopped over It was like a sort of wet noodle, but he's still like it was like in parts. He couldn't.
Oh shit! I don't want to mess up my bad knee, and so he like flops all weird on the floor, and then Wofat shoots the governor. But you don't see his face in the video, and this pisses off White Guy McGarrett. And they're like, you don't need to see his face. All we need to see is that you didn't kill him. And in case anyone was wondering, it's Andy's bedtime.
Trying to have an actual sleep schedule is very important.
So then, this is true. Then all the 5-0s and their pals meet up, and they realize like, oh shit, we have to go stop Wofat before doing his final deal. I don't know what he's dealing.
Yeah, was there any discussion previously of a deal going on? Except for there was Hoff talking to them, but they don't know anything about a deal. They didn't hear anything. All of a sudden they know the deal's
But
happening.
they do know there's one final deal, and then he's disappearing forever. We gotta get him now.
I missed something.
I have maybe season 1 covers this. We didn't watch it, but so they before going to track down Wofat, they stop and pick up America's favorite Cylon, who tips them off on where to go.
Crew.
They gotta have all the 5-0s, all 4 of the 5-0s have to be there. So then Cylon and John Locke, they run after fake German guy. And then the rest of the dudes get on a speedboat chasing after a much bigger boat.
But this is they arrive. Okay, so another big point of this is they arrive and they're like, "Oh, the deal's been done." And they look and they can see Hoff walking away slowly, and they can see the boat also pulling away. Like, so they missed it by seconds. Like, if they hadn't picked up the Cylon lady, they could have intercepted.
They would have arrived there with plenty of time. The Cylon would have rolled up. Like, why didn't she just drive the Asian dude's car? But she's in the same vehicle with them.
Right.
All 4 5-0s roll out, and so they catch up to the boat. And they shoot some dudes. And Jin from Lost does a truly impressive performance by taking a shotgun, shooting it one-handed, and somehow only firing a single bullet at one of the bodyguards, killing him instantly.
From a moving boat to another moving boat. He is a sniper.
With a shotgun.
An artist with a shotgun.
And only one hand, because he's safe driving. He's still got one hand on the wheel. Mm-hmm. And then, but Wofat's not on the boat. Where's Wofat? No one knows.
The money's there, though.
And they take one of the bodyguards to like a CIA black site with very dim green lighting.
But they captured Hoff.
Yeah.
They opened up. Hold on, he had a briefcase. I
forgot about the shitty lava lamp.
Yeah. So Hoff had a suitcase. They opened it up, and it's basically looks like lava lamp stuff in a metal jar.
But John Locke must know what they are because he says, "Call Homeland Security, get them down here. We've got green lava lamps and they're about to blow." But
they got through TSA somehow, and now they're here. And we have to stop it.
They made it all the way through customs, only to be caught in a parking lot in a suitcase, and they don't look dangerous at all. Yeah. And then on the boat, instead of Wofat, they do find the fakest looking money I've ever seen in a network TV show.
It's pretty solid.
And they take one of the bodyguards to a very
dimly
green lit CIA black site, and they interrogate him for approximately 30 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Before they say, "You know what? I believe him. He doesn't know where Wofat is." And they're like, "I'm gonna uncuff him." And they're like, "Go on, go." And then short guy's like, "You just gonna let him go?" And he's like, "If you want to catch a shark, you gotta chum the waters." And then, so that guy's a dead man. He's like, "Maybe not." And I don't know, they're surprisingly unconcerned about the bodyguards, which, not surprisingly, we first met them when they were losing Wallace.
So this show is actually a very complicated show because it's all gray, Evan. You don't know who to root for. I really like it.
So yeah, and then at the end, they don't follow the bodyguard. They don't follow their chum bait. And they go back to their office, and 5-0 is back. But the lady cop, Cylon, is still on suspension for something that no one talks about.
But the lieutenant, so 5-0 is back because the lieutenant governor, with his encyclopedic knowledge of everything that went on with 5-0.
Oh yeah, from not knowing who Jin from Lost are and who Short Guy are, he immediately sees the Cylon. He's like, yes, no, she is still being investigated by Internal Affairs.
Everyone.
I read her Wikipedia page.
Really impressive.
And then, so 5-0 is back, but there's only 3 of them now because the fourth Yeah, it's
They,
like
they
three
have
and
her
a
in
half.
quote unofficial capacity.
Yeah, and they're having beers in their office, which seems like poor use of government funds. And Alex Mack is there, Big Head, Shave Ice is there. Short Guy is watching more footage from the world's smallest camera with the greatest amount of gigabytes, and they watch that.
And they see that the generic white guy's dad actually made a deal of some sort. The audio's missing. We got the visual of him making a deal with the corrupt governor and Wofat.
But the
Mofat.
audio somehow has been erased,
Yeah.
and all we have is this very shitty black and white footage of old shitty white guy shaking hands with Wofat and the governor. Or not, yeah, Wofat. It is Wofat.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to shitty Josh Brolin. And he's very dead all of a sudden.
Super killed.
Lots of more. This was where the corn syrup and food dye budget went.
Yeah, they blew it right there.
And
Tiny
it's
bottle.
very clear they blew a budget because Wofat is leaving the prison.
Wait, was that Wofat? I thought it was some other person.
It was Wofat in a prison guard uniform.
Oh,
And
he's also an assassin.
he's an assassin.
Sweet.
And he's the only prison guard working at this facility.
No one
And
checks him.
shitty Josh
He
Brolin is
ambles
the
out.
only prisoner. And for some reason, all of the lights are blazing in this place.
Well, they're not really cost efficient. You know, for profit prisons,
Government
they didn't really
graft,
make it there, I guess.
you know. And then we see Wofat, Botox get into a car outside, and there's a driver. And who is it? None other than Alex Mack from Nickelodeon. And they drive away into the darkness. The end. So, predictions for next episode.
Oh man, I don't. I don't even. I mean, obviously, the Alex Mack story will continue.
Do you think we'll ever find out what her relationship to any of the other characters is?
I hope not.
Yeah, I kind of like not knowing because I like thinking of her solely as Alex Mack, who's
like the
just
risk.
moonlighting in this show.
Yeah, did they even say her name in this episode?
No, she is nameless, so we have to call her Alex Mack. I'm thinking they flesh out the 5-0 by pulling Big Head into the ranks, and
I thought he was like already sort of in.
Oh.
As,
Well,
like,
then
the
maybe they
comedic
make the
relief.
doctor an official member. Like, up until now, the dorky doctor has been an unofficial member. And at one point, he tries to argue that Yoda does not have telepathic powers. But if the Force is not telepathic powers, what are you talking about? And it's really stupid.
The Force is not. Do we have time to get into that? The Force is not telepathic powers. We can do this.
I'm not sure I have the fight in me to deal with that right now. Hawaii 5-0 stole my spirit.
I'm a husk of a man
You know,
right now.
the fifth 5-0 is the island.
Yeah. Yes. That's
So
all these loving shots of it. Yes.
I did joke, Andy, that this episode was sponsored by Barilla. But let's go to our financial fodder. And do you know who actually sponsored this episode?
You and me. I don't.
No. It's a place called Round Zone. And I know you're thinking, doesn't he mean Squarespace? And you would be wrong, because Round Zone hates websites, don't you? And on Round Zone, instead of having a convenient place to go and affordably host reliable websites, you go to Round Zone and you custom design a zine, and they send you snail mail to determine the specs of your zine cover and what the articles are going to be. And some of them are just lorem ipsum dolorum, but you can show it to your friends and it's still really rad. And it takes fucking forever because all of this is happening over snail mail, but it's zines, man. It's fucking rad. If you go to roundzone.com/badwatch, you can get 10% off your first zine design purchase.
It will take 6 months in order to
6
process.
months to a year is their current timeline for this.
It's not a good turn time.
So don't hold your breath, but if you know someone who likes zines and is having a birthday a year from now, you fucked up their birthday this year, but you really want to crush it next year,
Do it right.
you really need to go to roundzone.com/badwatch to get 10% off that zine. But don't tell them you got 10% off. That's shitty. It's their birthday. So, ladies and gentlemen, now that we've discussed a Badwatch, it's time for Goodwatch.
Oh my god.
So, Goodwatch, for those of you who don't know, this is our first episode. How could you know? But you want to know. It's when we recommend good things to watch, like a GIF you can just watch for hours, or a YouTube video that makes your heart smile in a metaphorical way, or
Be painful.
a TV show, or a TV show that is actually good. So Andy, what is your good watch?
I'm going to recommend Castle Rock, which I've just finished the first season of. And it is... I like Stephen King, and it feels very much like Stephen King. Like just the way they're going through the characters and progressing things. The suspense just builds and builds until like episode 9, they reveal like a whole bunch of stuff, and you're like, oh my god, everything's happening for a reason. It's great.
I can second this good watch recommendation. I finished it a little before Andy. If you're into spooky atmospheric stuff, they absolutely crush the tone with this show in terms of making it feel like you're reading a Stephen King book. And also the acting is great. The writing is incredible.
Sissy Spacek.
The Sissy Spacek absolutely crushes it. The love interest from Moonlight plays the main guy, Andre Holland.
Oh, is that who that? He's so good.
He's
I haven't seen Moonlight, so I was like, now I think I really need to check it out because I really like him.
He's only in Moonlight for maybe 10 minutes, and it's like one of the greatest things in the film. Yeah.
Okay.
He does an amazing job. But my good watch on Netflix, American Vandal is back after almost unmasking who did the dicks. American Vandal season 2 seeks to find out the identity of the turd burglar, and I'm only 2.5 episodes in, and I am riveted. It is so good. It is about who caused a brownout at a Catholic high school in Washington State. And when I say brownout, I don't mean like a minor power outage. I mean someone putting maltitol in the cafeteria lemonade and forcing everyone to poop at the same time. And it's amazing. It sounds gross, and it is, but you should really watch it. And that's my good watch for this week.
I have to second that. I haven't seen any of the second season. Evan made me watch the first season. It is really funny.
Who did the dicks? I mean, we're still asking that question. But even so, I found the first season tremendously satisfying.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, he's Andy.
That guy, you can't see him. That guy's Evan.
That dude over there in my house.
In the corner.
Doing laundry in my machine. What a freeloader drinking my beer. Anyway, this has been Badwatch.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.